What's good, YouTube? Today on XS Airsoft, we're going to be taking a good look at the PTS ACR. The one that's actually made by PTS, not made by ICS or any of that other little side companies. We're going to see if this thing is really as good as the real steel firearm. It just might be. Alright guys, so as many of you know, I'm actually on vacation right now. I'm up here at my cabin, which is in, northern part of the country, I suppose. But I brought up a lot of my airsoft guns because I wanted to hit some reviews, bang some reviews up for you guys while I'm up here, because I have a lot more of areas that I can shoot, get some good spots. But you know how vacation goes, you get drunk, you don't want to do anything. That said, my brother had the brilliant idea of throwing an AEG in the water and seeing what happens. Because I was explaining to him how well built this gun really is. So as I told you guys before, this is the PTS ACR. Honestly, or the Masada as many would know. Honestly, I did not expect this gun to perform after coming out of water like that. When I actually first brought this gun in the water, you guys will see some shots coming up of this now. I had this loaded and I shot it underwater. And it wasn't the gun that failed. It was the BBs. The BBs actually got trapped in the birdcage style muzzle brake here. The gun functioned. After I removed the BBs, and you guys will see some shots of that here too. After I removed the BBs, the gun, again, shot still. Even right now. See, it's just waterproof. This gun has been underwater for a solid 40-ish minutes now. And I'll go ahead and do it again, just to prove that I'm not bullshitting you guys here. I do not recommend doing this with any AEG ever, but this just goes to show how crazy good the build quality is on these rifles. I'm amazed that they're not making them anymore. It's really unfortunate because these guns are just absolutely impressive. Alright guys, I'm inside now. As you can see, I'm nice and dried off. Well, a little bit. Still a little water in my hair. Whatever. Regardless, I'm dried off enough where we can go ahead and take a look at the rifle. So right off the bat, I did do one thing to the gun to make it a little bit more waterproof. And that's when I put the battery in, I wrapped the battery in electrical tape as well as the connection point. And that's obviously just because I didn't want the battery to be fried. Ooh. The battery did not make it out unscathed, I'm just going to say that much. Alright, so I'm gonna quick peel off the tape, we'll get that out, and I'll cut back. Alright, so as you guys saw during the video, with semi-auto, this gun shot every single time I pulled the trigger when I pulled it out of water. Like, we had the gun in the water for a total of probably about an hour of just shooting and shooting and shooting in semi-auto. And the gun did not fail. It showed no signs of failing. Well, beyond some screeching noise coming from the motor when it was a little bit wet, it really didn't show that many signs of failing. The gun did fail, however, and it failed when I ran it in full auto. The reason it crapped out, and I'll quick show you the screeching noise. What happened was it stripped the piston. And the reason it stripped the piston in full auto, here, just so you guys can hear it. The reason it stripped the piston when it was in full auto and not in semi-auto is basically the water pressure inside the gearbox. So when the piston would be retracted, it would suck in all that water, and water will rush in pretty quick, right? And then the piston is released, and the spring would not recompress the water out of the barrel before the gears would be ready and grabbing the piston again. So basically the piston would be half forward when the sector gear would come back up and grab it to pull it back. And I'll show a little bit more of that when I get to an internal review of this gun. That won't be in this video, but you'll see how that works. Basically, the piston was catching halfway on its return, and that caused it to eventually strip out because the gears were just grinding against it way too much. And that's what led to this. The gun in semi-auto, honestly, probably would have shot until something rusted out. Now, I'm not sure what inside the gearbox is aluminum and what's not. It may have shot indefinitely, who knows? But it was working. The whole reason, like I explained earlier, that it jammed originally is because I had this birdcage on here. And the pressure from the BB, water, was causing the BBs to want to twirl one way or another. And that caused them to not leave the 6mm barrel properly, and they were getting caught in this birdcage. And the gun literally filled its whole barrel with BBs and the birdcage before it jammed completely. Underwater, mind you, underwater. This is an AEG that was underwater. That's just absolutely crazy, mind-boggling to me. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and rip this whole gun apart. See, there's some water in the mag well still. Rip this whole gun apart, and we're going to see what really happened to it. This gun is very easy to disassemble, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm just not going to do the gearbox. Alright guys, I'm back in Green Bay. It's been a solid day or two since the gun was in the water, so I'm going to go ahead and crack her open. I know I said I wasn't going to go into the gearbox, but out of curiosity, I am. I'm just curious to see if the gear's rusted out, and I don't think it actually was the piston. We're going to find out, because I noticed that when I actually run the gearbox, the tappet plate doesn't drive back. So it could be the gear, it could be the piston, could be a variety of different things. So here she is. This is, again, all I did is I put this in a nice dry shirt. I wrapped everything up in a nice dry shirt for transportation, and it dried out, right? So the PTS ACR is actually made out of a DuPont reinforced polymer. Now you guys have heard me say this in other videos. It's easily the best polymer I have on any of my guns. And I've mentioned that in literally every single video. The only one that even comes close is, fuck, honestly, none of them. The XR5s are pretty nice, but they're just not as nice. This is the same stuff they use on the Real Steels. So yeah, basically this is like the Real Steel one with AIRSOFT internals. Kind of like the ENL, is just not quite as nice. Still, it's a phenomenal gun. I knew it wasn't going to rust because, again, this is a polymer, and the upper receiver is a, was it 2735 rated aircraft aluminum, which is, again, the same stuff they use on their Real Steels, or at least very similar. But yeah, so being aluminum and polymer, obviously it's not going to rust, so I really wasn't too concerned with that. The only big concern, again, was this gearbox here. This gun is incredibly easy to pull apart, too. I mean, you have one pin for the front end, 2 pins for the back, and then 1 pin for the receiver and lower receiver. That's it. So what is that? Total of 4 pins, and the whole gun is apart. So now I'm just going to go ahead and crack this gearbox open. I won't make you guys have to watch that. I'll just snap to it and... Alright, as much as I'm sure that I absolutely fucked that up, still here we are. This was really easy to get out of the gun. Again, this gun is just so crazy modular. All I had to do is unscrew those 2 tiny screws at the bottom there, and unscrew the tappet plate, the screw in the back of the tappet plate, just that one, or just, well, there's 2 back here, and then you pull a lever and it pops it off. So that's it. So that total 4 screws once again to get the whole gearbox out of the gun, and here we are. This is a customized version 2 gearbox. It's a custom made by PTS that basically has a motor cage on it, just like you'd see on most version 3s. I absolutely adore this design. It's really, really nice. It's just better. It is a quick change. This gun is just way ahead of its time. It uses ball bearings. PTS really outdid themselves, and I really wish, I think the BB Warrior mentioned it, they just didn't advertise the gun. They should have advertised it way more, because this gun is just amazing. It's a true hidden gem. Alright, onto the gun here. I will go ahead and crack this open for you, and alright, so as we can see, alright, so as we can see here, it's really wet still, actually. I think a lot of it stuck to the grease that was in the gun. I already think I know what did it, actually. I'll post a picture right here so you guys can see what I saw when I flipped the gearbox over. It looks like that ball bearing we had crapped out. I'll have to dry off this gearbox and re-lube it. Alright, so that one made it. The sector gear looks fine. Absolutely fine. It's actually a nice gear too. Set that off to the side here. I don't want to mess up the shimming. Alright, grab this out. Looks like that's the one that did it. There it is. So look at that. Wide open. So that's what gave out. Strange enough, it looks like the piston is fine. You can see all the gunk there I gotta clean off. Yeah, it looks like the water did not react well with the grease that was in this gun, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, so it looks like it was a ball bearing that crapped out. It's not the first ball bearing I've had to fail. I'm gonna pull out all these different gears and swap the ball bearing if I have one. Hopefully I do. If I don't, I'll just, you guys will see, hear it from me. But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can just swap that ball bearing and get it to go again. I stand corrected. Let's see if I can get this to zoom here. Come on, there we go. So you guys can see that this poor, what is this, sector gear? No, sector, sorry, pinion, bevel, whatever, spur, bevel, whatever gear this is. It's either the bevel or the spur gear. Got completely destroyed on the top side there. You can see that completely just ground to absolute nothing. So this gear's toast. And then also some more damage here. And again, the bevel or the spur. I always forget these two. I think it was Remaining Rex told me what they were last time, but I always forget. So anyway, but yeah, we have a tooth missing there. yeah. Oh, one other thing. Air seal on this gun, absolutely perfect. Literally, if you have it like the front end here, and then try to compress. See that? See that? My finger's turning white. And then if I lift my leg, boom. So yeah, that is really, really, really a good air seal. That's, you don't get that usually without Teflon tape. So yeah, moving on. Alright, so there we are. I got it all back together. I went ahead and replaced that one ball bearing bushing that I had. I just so happened to have that exact size laying around, which was 8mm. There's some of the screws I still have to put in here yet. But so you can see I got her working. I put in a new, all new gears with the exception of the sector gear. The motor is fine, surprisingly. Yeah, everything went together pretty well. It was a kind of a funk figuring out how that trigger worked, but after I got it, it's down packed. It wasn't so bad. You just got to remember that there is a little spring that goes from that special unit for the trigger to the back of the, like, behind the actual trigger right here. It's really confusing. I'd actually have to show you, like, in an actual how-to video if enough of you buy this gun, or if anyone buys this gun and wants to see it, maybe I'll show it. But yeah, after you get that down, it's not so bad. All right, guys, 1 second. There she is. Oh, I love electronic trigger units. Alright guys, so I have the gun back together. There she is in her glory. God, she's so sexy. But yeah, okay, so I replaced those few pieces, which are these right here. So the one bevel or spur gear, the other bevel or spur gear. This is so cringe. I'm sorry. But yeah, these two gears. So again, I had to replace it because of those teeth were just ripped apart. And I had to replace that. And then there is the old, you can see that old ball bearing bushing compared to the new ones that one of the new ones that I just put in. I only swapped one for the time being. I'll end up swapping all of them when I upgrade the gun completely. So it was these two parts right here that ended up failing. I'm sure one of these failed and that caused the rest of them to fail because I kept on pulling the trigger. So, but yeah. Again, I don't recommend that with any AEG. No AEG is going to survive. Well, then again, you could build it enough to survive. I'm sure if you put enough like all steel CNC components in there, it could probably do it. I'm really genuinely impressed with how, oh yeah, and as long as you also only fire it on semi-auto. But yeah, I was honestly really impressed with how long it made it. But a built AEG could do it. A not built AEG, not so much. That's what we found out. Those externals, again, just impressive. They aren't quite on par with E&L, but had I done that with my E&L would look like completely brown poop. It'd be all rust. All tetanus shots waiting to happen. So yeah, this was definitely one of the few I think that could make it through that. Most polymer rifles could probably do it. A lot of them just aren't up to the external build quality that this one has. So yeah, definitely, again, don't do that with most AEGs. This was just a video to find out what exactly would happen if you did. And we found out that you'll most likely blow up your internals. Kind of common sense, but still fun to see. Alright guys, so again, I hope you enjoyed that video. Just to close out, obviously this is not really a review of this gun here, but I do want to say this gun is absolutely incredible. The externals on this rifle, I've said this before, are really, really, really nice. It's just unfortunate these guns are going out of stock. They're not building them anymore. PTS has the same issue that E&L has. They just don't market their airsoft rifles correctly. They really don't. And they're just such good guns. And I've said it in multiple videos. You can go back through multiple of my videos. Even my XR5 lipo torture test, I mentioned this gun. It's my second best built gun. And the only thing that tops it is the E&L, period. And when I say the E&L tops it, I honestly think it's just because it has wood and steel. And if PTS did something along those lines, I'm sure it would be just as good, because PTS really hit it out of the park with this one. Again, unfortunately, PTS is dropping this gun. They're no longer being made. Airsoft GI still has a few in stock, and they're going for like $380, so get over there and buy it immediately while it's still there. I think Evike is already out of these. Check around. Shop around. If you can find it, pick it up. You saw how modular the internals are on these things. They're just so impressive. They're really, really impressive. I definitely recommend buying this before it's gone, and if you can get it secondhand, do it, because I'm sure the idiot that has it probably doesn't know what the hell he has. Really impressive gun. Really impressive. Super easy to work on. Great gun. Alright guys, I have a ton of random shots. I'll throw up some shots of the gun so you guys can see more of the rifle itself. I'll throw up a ton of shots. I got a ton of good shots. I mean, popping out of the water, like shooting and stuff. And then I have some other bloopers of just stupid shit. So I'll throw that all after this. Otherwise, yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Again, I apologize for the break. Obviously, I was on vacation. And I'm going to hop back over and start working on my other project guns. I have a lot of that stuff coming out soon. I just got to get a new printer. But all right, guys. Peace.
Now we're ready to go for some ISIS videos. Do you want Gabby in the shot?
Gabby, get off the ground.
We don't want the camera to block your face. So I guess you're right. And try to turn this one there. That way.
Better?
Yeah, try it. Go for it. 3, 2, 1.
I feel like it's gonna go in my nose.
Oh, it won't go in your nose. It won't. Trust me.
Really?
Doesn't go in your nose. I've done it millions of times.
Okay.
I could put my head like a dog into the water right now and it wouldn't bother me at all. See?
Like that?
Did it bother you at all?
A little bit. It's weird.
Yeah.
You're okay.
It's odd, but that's how it works. That's it.
That's weird.
The only time you'll hear water going farther than just beyond where it sits, because the air inside your nose will,
I know, that's
trap it.
the pressure.
But if you go do a flip, you'll lose it.
I gotcha.
Just like if you take a bucket and you swing the water.
What's that?
Don't kill me! Poseidon, spare me! Gods of Olympus.
What's good, YouTube? Today on... Oh, God.
Take 2.
Yeah.
Ready? I'll ready? Let's try it again. All right.
You can get a shot of me getting real close and sneaking up on him and popping up and blasting in the face with the air.
That sounds like a bad idea. Sounds like a really good bad idea for your YouTube channel.
What?
Dang it, Ellen.
You don't like water.
I'm almost shocked, Xavier.
What's good, YouTube? Today on... I can't. It's getting my mouth. I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's a good taste. Keeps going in his mouth.
It keeps getting in my mouth, so it sounds funny.
Xavier, tongue up, tongue up. Hold your tongue up. Just.
I am. It feels too weird.
How about if you just let go of your nose like right before you come up?
I did that last time. It was when I went back in that you're like,
Oh, then don't do. Then go back in.
The first take was great. The first take was great. Yeah. You just gotta cut. You gotta cut when you go back to jump in the water,
oh.
or when you're already in the water.
But I thought this would be a fun little video of AEG versus water. I thought it would be a terrible idea. I thought this was going to fail completely, but as we can see here, nothing.